Welcome, everybody. This is your boy, Rich Taylor, aka Dollar. Spec Media YouTube channel is back in full effect with comic book media news, speculation, and investment tips and or negativity. And of course, we are going to do pickups at the end. Let me go ahead and start by talking about our sponsor, Gemini Comics Supply, the only way to ship comics. Use code popcorn99, all one word, get 10% off your next purchase. There's a bonus code too, like super short print, SSP99. That's another 10% off. Appreciate you guys. Also, Gemini, just to let you know, they just came out with slab mailers, slab flash mailers. So I got a box of them from Bryan, the owner of Gemini, and making a video right now and show you guys if you haven't seen them, but they're pretty cool. All right. Let me it's been a while, man. I'm a little nervous right now. All right. So let's get back into this. Let's go ahead and introduce my co-host, my man with the master plan, Aaron Yeezy Yee. What's up, Aaron?
Hey, nothing much. Just filling out shipping labels and stuff like that. What we do on the side, right?
Are you selling? I mean, are you actually getting sales or?
One's a giveaway, and then this, and the other one is a sale. So I got to Wednesday Warrior for Ultimate Black Panther 1. So the one shop I did make it to, all they had left, they were out of A covers, they were out of B covers. They had one copy of C cover left and one copy of D cover left. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick up the rest of what they had because that was my mission. And I was like, I don't care if it's the variants. Like this is definitely probably like under ordered compared to to Ultimate Spider-Man 1. So I was I was like, let me just buy it so I can read it as well. And I didn't really care for it. So I was like, all right, well, people are still getting FOMO over all these covers. So let me just throw it on the bay, $20, best offer. And someone paid $15. So I was like, all right, get it out of my house. Yeah, I was like, I'll take it. Yeah. I decided to keep covers, I think it's C. I really like that cover. In case it does become something like, that it's like kind of late, like where someone catches something like, hey, in this part, this is going to build on to, such and such. So I was like, I might as well hold on to one of the covers if it becomes like something down the road, but you never know.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Wow, that's pretty cool, man. Hey, you know what? That's pretty cool because as you can see, Aaron practices what he preaches. So Aaron speculates at times and he sells when it's high, not when it's low. So Aaron's the man. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to learn from the best though. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, dude, our whole circle, 30, 35, 30, what is it? How many guys are in our circle right now? Our crew, like 30, something like that, or whatever. They're all pretty good.
Probably
37. I'm thinking of the Beyond Wednesdays Google chat.
Yeah, there's 37 people in there, but I mean, like at any given moment in time, I would say it's probably like 50 people deep. Like if we really if we had to give a number to it, like I would guess it's 50 deep or more. Like
Uniform Universe X is a very good speculator, man in the comic collector. He's in the chat. Great speculator. Yeah, there's just a lot of good ones. Let's hit the chat first and then we'll get started. I know Aaron is tired like I am, and he has to probably work tomorrow, so I just don't want to make this too long. Righteous Flipper says, hey, Huzza, let's go, Richie. Hey, buddy. Thank you for showing up early. I appreciate that. He pre-gamed in the chat. Appreciate that. Manny the comic collector says, what's up, Richie?
It's huzzah.
Huzzah. Huzzah.
Huzzah. You never heard of that?
Yeah, of course I did.
Okay.
And we were talking cards today. He was at Target and he walked into a restock. He walked into XL, is the distributor for Target on the West Coast, not MJ Holdings anymore. And then I could see it. The XL boxes. He walks in and he's all the boxes and he says that they didn't put any baseball cards on the shelf.
Oh, really?
with Stadium Club and freaking Series 1. The last 2 weeks. That's crazy. That's crazy.
So
Tiger
what did they
Fett,
put out? Like just Donruss 23, 24?
Manny was saying that they just put Pokemon.
Oh.
And I said, "Wow, that's good for you," because he loves Pokemon. He's really, really sharp on Pokemon stuff. But long story short, I was like, "Well, grab some of those Monopoly Prism booster boxes because those Wemby cards, those parallels are going for so much. They just started popping up on Facebook, in my Facebook groups and on eBay. And on top of that, there's no hobby for those. So it's
Oh
kind of
yeah,
like a
that's true.
really interesting product. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
So
and then last year was the first year product, and
yeah.
then like honestly, like it kind of at most of the time it held up its price from, I mean, not the initial like out the gate price, but
Mhm.
like once it settled down and everyone was starting to get the product, like it never really tanked.
Oh yeah, I
Like
agree.
everyone, I feel like there was a lot of people expecting it to tank,
Mhm.
especially like if you just think of like how many targets are just in your own city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's two versions too. There's the booster box, which are now shaped like, I think they're shaped like blaster boxes. They were shaped like this last year. I think they're shaped like blaster boxes this year. I haven't seen them yet. I'm not sure, but I have 5 coming. But these were the booster boxes. And then I did a video. I don't know if you guys are interested. I don't know if you watched it, but I did a video. These versus Panini dropped those. Remember those white blaster boxes they dropped? The Monopoly ones. They're shaped like a blaster box, and I think
Yeah.
Paulo was on the front, and those things were going for like 80 to 100. I haven't checked them lately, but they were going up, and these have already dropped down to like 35, $40 from last year. I went on Hasbro.com, and they still had, for MSRP $29.99, they still had these, and it was 5 per person.
Oh
And
wow.
so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get 5 more, and then Brad Selden in the Beyond Wednesdays chat at the end of the show says, "Hey, Monopoly Prism is live on Target." So I took off from the Hasbro and went on Target, and I bought actually 2 orders of 5. I got 10. Target cancels my second order. I get pissed off and I go, well, I'll just go to Hasbro and get 5 of last year's. Went in there and they were sold out.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, what? So what you do for Target is you buy 5
Mm-hmm.
or whatever the max is,
It's
and then
5.
you
It's 5
wait,
now.
and then you wait like 12 hours or 24 hours, and then put in
Okay.
another order.
Okay, that's a
Yeah,
good tip. That's a good tip.
yeah.
That's a good tip. Let's see here. Let's hit the chat and let's get going here. Tiger Fat, what up, man? He says, "Hey, Richie. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Tiger. Good to see you."
What's
Manny
up?
says, "No luck today on Series 1. Vendor only restocked Pokemon cards, but he loves Pokemon cards. The guy knows so much.
Well,
Man, you got any first edition Pokemon cards, ultra rares? Let me know." Dad Life, what up, man? He says, "What's up, everyone? In Dollar We Trust." Appreciate that, man. Thank you. You humbled me. I appreciate that. Manny says, "Sell high, buy low." That is an Aaron Yee special. And then Sith
in
Rule.
more ways than one.
Yeah. Touche, my man. Touche. And there is the millennial, almost Gen X. He missed Gen X by like 3 years. Ferdbird the Nerd. Great show.
What year was Ferd born in? He's
82.
like my. Oh, okay.
Whatchamacallit?
We just
I
doxed him. Oh, we're so good at that.
Oh, did I dox? Is that doxing? Is that doxing? Because
Well,
it's
when
on
you
his
give away personal.
it's on his Facebook. It's public on his
Oh,
Facebook.
okay. When you give away public information, or someone's personal information without their consent,
Oh,
I guess.
sorry,
Okay.
Ferdy. You know I
No,
love you, bro.
I just mess around with
I
saying
don't
that.
like. I always thought doxing was like when you
It's when you
tell
expose someone's address or phone number.
address and their
Uh,
work and all that other stuff.
yeah, yeah.
So, you know what's funny about Ferdy, real quick? I was not sub to his YouTube channel. I thought I was, but it was OTR I was sub to. So
Oh,
yeah, so I was like, what?
so,
I was seeing all his
so
posts on IG, and I'm like, how come I'm not
it,
getting these notifications? And then I go and look, and I'm not even sub, so I subbed up to him today.
so what he needs to really bring back is his cat videos to his like own channel. Like
Dude, those
that
are
was.
amazing. Those were
I mean,
amazing.
like honestly, that's how you're gonna build subscribers. I mean, whether that's comic people or not, whatever, that's another
Yeah.
story. But like, if you're just after the I'm trying to get monetized and like a ton of followers and watchers, like just do
Yeah.
the cat thing.
Yeah, for sure. Eric Kerr, what up, man? He's playing fantasy. We got new guys in our fantasy baseball league. We got 3 spots left. I'm really hoping Aaron jumps on board. He's new to fantasy, but he loves baseball and he loves baseball cards even more. So, and Eric can attest to this. Playing fantasy really helps you keep on the know of players to look for. Like, it's
Oh yeah.
crazy. Like, if I don't play fantasy, then I'm always wasting more time doing more work than that needs to. But Eric Hurd, what up, man? Ferdy, I apologize, bro. I didn't know. That's my bad, dude. I didn't mean to do that. So I appreciate you. He says he doesn't care. He says I'm rude. He says he's laughing.
He's probably laughing at. He's probably saying that I was rude about something I said. I don't even know what I said. That
Aaron
was
just
too
called
long
me.
ago.
Aaron just likes to break my balls in public. It's all good, dude. All right, let's get into it. Luis Mendoza, what's up, man? He says, yo, what's up, fellas? All right, this is By the Dip, episode number 10, Comic Book Market Watch. As you guys know, or if you're new here, we go over the House of Stein. Shout out to Ben Stein and Bryan McClay. Those are our brothers and our, you can say almost co-workers, partners on our other shows. Every Friday, me and Aaron do a show with Bryan, Red Hood Comic, and Ben. We do the House of Stein YouTube channel, the original Hot 10 comic show every Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time. So he does a By the Dip. He writes most of the time. I write it sometimes, but like I'd say 95% of the time, he writes the By the Dip list on Friday. So we're gonna go ahead and review. We're gonna do this show every single Monday or Tuesday. I'm gung ho. I'm feeling better, so we're gonna go over that, and then we're gonna go over 5 books that me and Aaron either like or dislike, one or the other, that have lost massive value. So, and we're also gonna do a little bit of comic adaptation and MCU news, and we're gonna talk a little bit about CGC. Aaron's got some news to talk about there. So, and one more time, just in case, because I know everybody in the chat flips comics. 10% off Gemini comic mailers, popcorn 99, one word, bonus code SSP 99, like super short print 99, 10% off. All right, let's go. So this was the number 5 book on By the Dip on the original Hot 10 comic show, House of Stein, last Friday. What's going on here, Aaron?
So Iron Cat number 1. This is a Scon variant, 1 in 50. This recently sold for $1.25 raw.
I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that. That auction had to end on a weekday, and then I go and look. It ended on a Sunday.
It ended on a Sunday. Well, like in a reasonable amount of time too. Like not like a weird like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean. But is this one of those characters where Iron Cat's like kind of forgotten about and no one cares because something really happened, or is this something that could like eventually build up?
Okay, so we have the first appearance of the Iron Cat, Black Cat, Felicia Harding, is that her last name? She wears the suit. She steals the tech from Tony Stark. If you haven't read the Black Cat series during the pandemic 2020, she flirts around, hooks up with Tony Stark, and then she steals Stark tech and builds this Iron Cat suit. And the first appearance of that book in cameo, I guess, is number 11, and then second appearance or first full appearance and first cover appearance is the scan variant for number 12. Then this drops like 2 years later, this series, and everybody's specking on those books. Those books went crazy, but then we found out on FOC that it's a different character. So this is actually the first appearance also and cover appearance of the new Iron Cat, from what I understand. Now I haven't read this book. I'm just going off of what I remember during that time. I'll be frank with you, I just don't buy Iron Cat, and I don't want to bother even reading it. But it's a really cool suit. It's a really cool suit and a really cool concept.
Yeah, I mean, isn't this a mini series too? Like it's only like 3 or 5 issues, right, or something like that. I don't think it's an ongoing series.
Did it? I thought it got canceled or
Oh, it's one of
whatever.
those. Oh, it could have
That's
been
what
one of those books.
that's what I was thinking. Tiger Fest says, "Oh, so you have a YouTube channel to be a part of the inner circle?" No. What I mean is,
Well, no,
I didn't mean to sound like that.
I would have counted Tiger Fett in that inner circle too.
Absolutely,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah, because I've been on enough shows with him at this point in time. Like,
Yep.
yeah, you were on YouTube at like for a good minute. Like,
for sure.
Like if you get recognized at a con for being on YouTube, like you're in that circle.
For sure. Manny says, I found the whole run of Ultimate Invasion in the bins. Went back today to buy more copies, but the LCS pulled number 4 and priced it to add $30. Boo! Hate that. Hey, King of the Golden State, he finally subbed to my channel. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. This, when I got back into comics in 2016, 17, around Christmas time, 2016, I got right into YouTube. He was one of the first guys that actually like showed me love in the chat and stuff like that. So
nice.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He says $1.50. Fair to say. Bye, Felicia. Yeah, I agree. Tiger says he's honored, and then Ferdy says, "Yo, King." He's saying, "What's up?" All right, let's move on to the next book, number 4. Now, this is shout out to It's Drunken Chat Son, Mighty Mel V, our good friend over there. He is notorious for this book, along with Bryan McClay. They made a killing on these in 9/8.
Same with Long Short too, as well.
Long Short too. This is Outlaw number 1. This is the 1 in 50, right, Aaron?
1 in 50.
And the spec is the first time that Ironheart and these two other characters are on the cover together, and it's like the Gen Z. It was like the Gen Z pop culture spec play or whatever. And then we had the writer strike, and then we had some shitty movies and series, and now it's
then on top of that, it was a pandemic book too, right? Like,
yeah, so it was under ordered. It was under ordered, yeah, because of that.
Because I mean, like, stores had no idea what was going to happen to them, like if they were going to be able to like keep their doors on or open.
Yeah. It dropped like that month too, right? Like March 2020, right? Because I remember it was on the Hot 10.
Yeah, it was March 2020. Yeah, it was like right in that perfect time period of like everything shutting down.
So what's Ben saying about this book, Aaron?
So this in a CGC 9/8 sold for $180. The all-time high peaked at $1,000 to $2,000.
Wow.
So, but do you think it's also because more copies surfaced?
That's what I think.
Like,
yeah, I think
like after pandemic.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say after pandemic and all that. Like, I feel like people are tending to find them a little bit more, and then I wouldn't be surprised if there was like some sort of diamond dump where retailers could buy variants and all that. You're muted.
Sorry. It's funny you say that because I mean, is this even a key issue besides low print run? It's like a minor key, right? Minor key.
Probably I always have a hard time saying a book is a key book just because it has a first appearance in it. I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, because like if the character doesn't do anything or it doesn't pan out to be anything, or even if they like have that 15 minutes of fame or whatever, is it really a key book still? Like, if no one gives a shit like 3 months later.
Well, here's my definition of a key book. My definition as a key book is any book, any comic that has some kind of historical significance in either the art or the creative writing. So first appearance, first cover. First cover is kind of a new one. That's only, I mean,
like team ups aren't like first meetups or whatever. That's never. That's like I don't question that as being a key. Like even as in respect to like the Copper Age and stuff like that. When a lot of that was happening, right? So I mean, in that sense, I could see it. Even though I don't think it's the first time all three of these characters meet up, right?
No, it's
I
the
think
first
this is
time they're on a cover, I think. Right?
I think it's the first time they're pictured together when they're not in their costumes, right?
Ah, gotcha. That's good. That's good. So you got Kamala Khan, you got Ironheart, and Miles Morales, and you got Bubblegum. Shout out to Longshort.
Oh, Manny's also saying it's extremely tough to get in the 9.8.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He says easily 9.2 due to color up. All right, let's move on.
Oh, is that cheap Marvel paper printing time period?
It's probably the back. You know how the back cover has infinite or Endgame or whatever that Endgame
It's not the kid
advertisement.
it's not the kid with the Iron Man mask.
Oh,
And
that one too. That one too has a lot of color around too. Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure.
because the top and bottom edges are black, right?
Yep.
You just touch that and your thumbprint's in it. No, okay.
All right, we got Deadpool 65. This is from what year was this, Aaron? 2099.
I think it's 99.
Okay.
Yeah, let me double
This
check though.
I didn't know this book was in a newsstand. I've been looking for this book in a newsstand. Aaron informed me that this was in a newsstand. He said somebody, I don't remember, was it Longshort you said had it?
Longshort has
And
it. I
I've
think he
been
has 96. Don't quote me on that.
96. Wow, that's huge. That's really good. 96 is high for a newsstand. I'd take that all day.
Yeah.
So since Friday's show, when I go on eBay, I was listing some books and some cards on my store. In between, I kept looking for this book and I was putting newly listed to see if anybody like missed the newsstand or whatever, but couldn't find any. And then finally I found one, but the guy listed it as a newsstand. It was all beat up and it was expensive. So but what's going on here, Aaron? What does Ben have to say about this book?
Let's see. This book has sold in a CBCS 9.8 at $75. So this is the lowest it's been since 2018. And then I'm looking to find out when that exact issue came out. I found it. Shout out comics.org.
Is that the bunny, the white rabbit character or white bunny or whatever that character is? Appearance in a Marvel team up book. White Rabbit, I think her name is.
Someone said it in this was May of 2002.
Okay.
And then there's 2 first appearances in this.
There's actually 3 first appearances, but go ahead. Yeah, because there's one.
I can't remember who it is though.
Yeah, we were talking about the other day, Agent X. So the alter ego to Agent X, I forgot his name before he's Agent X, and then 2 other characters. But this is a cool book. I like this book. Anytime I go to a shop, I look at Deadpool books, I'm definitely looking for this
one. Is it Black Swan and Outlaw?
There you go. What's this selling for,
Aaron? Ben says this sold in a CBCS 9.8 for $75.
I'll take that all day, every day, and on Monday. I mean, jeez.
Oh, there we go. King of the Golden State. Thank you, James. Black Swan, Outlaw, and Rat Bag.
I think of when I see Rat Bag, I think of Epic. But
is that going to become a new insult? You rat bag.
I'm not trying to be a dick to him. I mean, I'm not trying to be his friend either, but I'm not trying to be a dick to him.
Just don't accept books from him. Then you owe him.
but the thing is that, when he's in the chat and he's acting tough to Sub-Zero in the chat, responding to Sub-Zero's, whatever he was saying, and then
allegedly,
and then
allegedly it wasn't him either.
Right. Allegedly, and then this alleged Epic username is talking about calling the cops on them and stuff. It's just, I don't know. Snitches get stitches, in my opinion. But anyways, let's move on. All right, Darkhawk #1. This is just a regular direct cover, massive print run on here. First appearance of Darkhawk and cover and origin. What does Ben have to say, and what is this selling for?
Ben says, shout out to Josh's comic books. Oh, no, I'm just joking. Sorry. This in the CGC 9.8 sold for $85 to $90. At one point in time, it had peaked at $400, and
Jeez.
has sold for $200 plus since 2017. I mean, that's pretty consistent for a 90s book in
Yeah.
a 98.
Right.
I would assume that like that $400 high end was probably the
Pandemic.
newsstand.
Oh,
Well,
a newsstand.
newsstand. I
Yeah.
would assume it's newsstand because you have like I was thinking about it. There was that time period when CGC wasn't notating newsstands, and then when you see these GPA records in like 2018 to what 2021, like some of those direct sales or whatever, those all-time highs were probably newsstands, depending on the book and the year, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. And just to allude to that, CGC, as you guys know, is putting newsstand edition on the newsstands, but they would only do it if there was a price variant. And
Right.
if there was no price variant, then they would not do it. But now they're doing it. So kudos to CGC. And we're going to talk a little bit about CGC. Some news came out today. We're going to talk about that a little bit later once we get to our comic book adaptation news. Yeah. So let's move on. All right. This is the mind blower of last Friday's By the Dip list. This is Captain Marvel number 17, second print, blue border, first cover appearance of Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. And I believe this is her second or third cameo in the Guts. I don't even know she's in the Guts. Never read it. What's going on here, Aaron? And how much did this lose in value?
All right. Second print, CGC 98 sold for $800. This is the lowest sale since 2018.
This was a
Okay.
$6,000 book at one point, right?
Yeah, I think it was approaching like that 7 to 10 mark, right? You're 50-50 on picking this up. I mean, is this truly a second appearance, first appearance? Because like what? Like people argue that 14 was the first appearance, and then 17, but like each of those are like shadows, and then
And
like
then
someone's
all new. Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
like just an arm or whatever,
Yeah.
and then you have like what first full and all new Marvel .1.
Right.
I mean, I like this book. Like I like second prints like this where the characters on the cover. It
Love
adds
that.
it adds a lot of flavor. To me, it kind of makes the argument for like Marvel, like, oh, we think this is the first appearance or whatever. Not what
Well,
some grading company is saying,
I don't
but
see. This is where I differential from a lot of my friends, like Ben Stein. Ben is he's on the track where he believes would be the first, like the actual first appearance, because she's on the cover. To me, and a lot of people think like that. To me, you got to be in the Guts. You gotta appear in the Guts. And remember, this is how I look at it. I'm not trying to advise. This is just my opinion. A cover is nothing but a artistic jacket of the Guts. So it's an advertisement. It's just an advertisement. It's not a part of the actual story. So in my opinion, it's not a first appearance. We just stick to first cover appearance and 15th cameo. I don't know what you want to say about the Guts, but like I said, like Ben and a few others, they beg to differ. They're pretty strong about it too. They believe this is the first appearance. So
I mean, but that you can make that argument all day on like
yeah, for sure,
on a
for sure.
number of books, right? I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and start that debate.
No, 100. I agree.
But I mean, I do like this cover. Um, it's a lot nicer of a cover than like Marvel .1 or even the Captain Marvel 14, where where she's not even on the cover. But I mean, to add on to what you were saying, also, like I agree that like to be a first appearance, like you need like at the very minimum like a full like splash cover page,
100.
like where you're not like in the shadows, like like it's a clear depiction of that character, like either they're named or like introducing like Bishop, Wolverine, whoever.
Yeah.
Like it needs all that to be considered that. But I mean, I'm not here to dictate rules either.
like Taskmaster 195 versus 196. You know, the
Yeah.
last splash page. King of the
Yeah.
Golden State says there's a raw copy on eBay for $6K right now. Like right now. Hold on while I get some oxygen law. All right, let's move on.
But what
You
was
got
your
something else there?
buy-in? I was gonna say, what would your buy-in price of this book in the
I would
98?
buy. I'll buy it for 800. I'm actually thinking about doing it, but I want to buy more Monopoly Prism. So
I mean, I would say I would take the gamble at 500. That's just me being a pessimist,
I
but
can see this dropping to 500, bro. For some reason, it's in my
that
gut. I can feel it.
yeah, I mean, but that would be my buy-in for this book, but I don't know how much people care about Miss Marvel. So
Yeah. All right. Number 5. Now, so we're going to go over the 5 books that Aaron and I have noticed that are down in value significantly. Most of the books that we believe that will rebound, it might be a decent spec play. Some of them we might not, but we just want to notate them. So let's get into it. Number 5. Marvel Comics presents number 6. This is from the 2019 series. And specifically, this is a CGC 98, the 2019 series CGC 98. This is your first appearance of Ryan Ryan, daughter of Wolverine and the niece of Agatha Harkness. Now, this is not 616 continuity. This is out of continuity. This Marvel Comics Presents series is flying under the radar. There's a bunch of first appearances. There's some great covers. There's a Bill Sienkiewicz cover for 4. I'm not really the hugest Liefeld art fan, but he actually, if you like his style, he does a really good cover for I think it's a 1 in 50 for number 5, her cameo appearance. But this is the first full appearance. You actually see her in action. You see her claws and the magic, hence daughter of Wolverine and niece of Agatha Harkness. I think it's an awesome character. I don't know why they are not doing anything with this character. It's driving me crazy because, magic and freaking adamantium claws. It's amazing. So right here we don't have a lot of sales. So bear with me here. We have these are pandemic prices. 498 sold in 2021. Let's see, May 2021 through just before Christmas of 2021. About a fair market value of around $250 with a high of $300. Yeah, so let's get into this. We just had a sale last summer, a CGC 98 for $101.21. And then also right before that in spring around Easter time of 2022 was another sale for $115.50. So, very few and far between, huge gaps between the sales. I think a lot of people just forgot. That's why I'm saying this series is flying under the radar. Great covers. There's a Raza cover for 7. It's the origin of this character. I also added this sale that shocked me on December 28th of 2023. So there's 3 printings of this. She's on the cover of the 1 in 25 for the second print. That's what this is. It's graded. I think it's graded by PGX. The seller put CGC, but I'm pretty sure that's PGX. Look at that. 22 bids, $61. I would have grabbed that all friggin' day. I just wanted to add that on there. Now, the third print is the same cover as the second print incentive, but it's color splash with partial sketch. She's on the cover of that. That's a cheap book as well. What do you think about this, Aaron?
Oh, I've loved this book since it dropped. Like, I was probably like one of the few people that was picking up the series because I definitely remember when it came out. When I went to go pick up my books that week, I went to go check to see what books were selling for, and I saw that like, hey, this random book I put on my pull is now hitting like 60-80 bucks like raw. So it was pretty exciting to hear about that. And then talking to talking to my the store owner, he was saying that like only me and one other person had ordered this book, and he had like one store copy to like put on the shelf. So I thought it was.
I checked. Not to interrupt you, but just to add. So you brought that. I'm glad you brought that up. I checked Comic-Con, not today, but back then, and it's somewhere between 20 and 30,000 they had there. I want to say 26 and change. So add 5K on there at least. So 30, 31K. And then 5, like I said about 5, which is the cameo. You don't really see her in the full, like, because she go in this issue. And spoiler alert. I mean, if you haven't read this and you're gonna get mad about spoilers, I don't know what to tell you because this has been out for like 5 years. But anyways,
yeah, I was gonna say it's been out for like 5 years. Yeah,
but there's actually three stories in this book, maybe 4, but I think 3. And she's in the last story, and they're fighting. They're out of the 616. They're in this this new continent, this new universe, and they're getting their ass kicked. Jean Grey's getting her ass kicked. Wolverine's getting her ass kicked, and then here comes Wolverine's daughter, claws and putting witch spells on people. It is amazing. It's such a good story. Yeah. So I love this character. She's real pretty, real beautiful. She's got a brain on her. And I actually found out, I didn't know this until after I was done with the whole volume, but I found out a few years ago that she actually is the one narrating the entire series from 1 all the way through 7. So you actually get what would you number 1, you get the first mention because she's actually, talking. But
yeah, because it's a recall of her memory or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go. Number 4. Giant Size Defenders, number 3. This book, man, this book is awesome. I always look for this book. It's super tough and high grade. I mean, there's tons of copies out there, but there's tons. I mean, I'd say probably 80% of them, maybe 90% of that I've seen have spine splits that are over an inch. It's brutal. Or crushed spines by pressers that don't know how to press. But yeah, it's your first appearance of an origin of Korvac. I like Korvac. I think with Fantastic Four coming and, I was talking about this on Friday. I don't really give a shit about Fantastic Four. And if I offend you, I apologize. I just don't care about the Fantastic Four. But I care about the macro part of Fantastic Four, meaning like what's around them, their adversaries. So their adversaries is what I want to see in live action and or animation, but especially live action. Doom, Galactus, Annihilus, Mole Man, not the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Mole Man, the actual Mole Man. Those are the and Super Scroll, maybe, I don't know. Those Silver are the characters. Temper. Right. Those are the characters we want to see for Fantastic Four, right? I don't really care about those what's his name? Mr. Fantastic, the Invisible One. Human Torch is cool. Human Torch is cool. Here's the thing about Thing is he's actually pretty cool. He's funny in the comics, and I thought the actor that plays him, Ben, whatever, in the Sony movies, is actually cool. But the reason why I don't like Thing in the comics is I feel like there's only very few artists that know how to draw him good. He's tough to draw because of you know what I mean? Like he's all rocky. It's just weird.
But it's clobbering time.
It's clobbering time. So Giant Size Defenders number 3, first appearance and origin of Michael Korvac, 1994 series. So and by the way, we use coverprice.com. I should have gave them a shout out. Unfortunately, we're not sponsored or affiliated with them, but they are our friends. And I've been using Cover Price since 2017, since they launched. I saw them on Reggie Collects. That's how I got to know DeVoe or whatever. I love Cover Price, but that's the data I use. And then when I see the data, I go to eBay and I double check the sales. Aaron uses what's the system you use besides GPA? The 120 point or 140?
Oh, 130 points. Yeah, I like 130point.com to find out eBay's best offers. So that I like using that site.
Yeah, I sold those. I sold 2 Taskmaster 3 1 in 25 Shane Davis's about a month and a half. Was it like a month and a half ago, Aaron? And I had them listed for $499.99. And I mean, raw. I was the highest listed one, and they were only selling for like $100 to $200, like $175. And a real nice guy got a hold of me He thought my copies were really nice. I pressed them for him, and he bought them for $499.99. So it says. Shout out to Ferdy. He posted the sales on his IG. It actually sold for $199.99. So just to let you know, if when you're looking at eBay confirmed sales, we think that when they do a best offer, if it's not the listed price, at least for me, you get the cross out, right? Well, this wasn't the case, and it sold for basically for 60%. Wait, let me see. 60% less than I had it listed, $199.99, both of them. But all right, let's get back into the numbers here. So February of 2022, it's hard to see. We're looking at now the raw copies 9.0 to 9.4, so just basically very fine near mint to near mint, and that's what I was bringing up. Cover price, even on the raw section, they have all the grades, and they also have 9.6, 9.8. If you're listing books at 9.8 raw and 9.6 raw, I guess you can kind of get away with 9.6, but if you're listing it as 9.8 near mint raw, that's a slippery slope. So I don't even pay attention to that. I just pay attention to the 9.0 to 9.4, especially on the back issues. So we're looking at an average in during the pandemic and the end of the pandemic in 2022. We're looking at about an average of about $275 with a high sale of $399.99. Now, look at this, Aaron. Very fine.
Oh wow, $50, $80.
3601 sold the day before my birthday, January 19th of this year. And then last year, May, sold for $49.75, a 9.0 to 9.4 raw. And then in 2022, so this is the end of the pandemic, around Labor Day, $79.99. Wow. What do you think about this, Eric? You like this book?
Personally, I don't go out searching for this book, but the one person that I know that was during a certain time period was Phil, vintage comics and toys, and so I remember him talking about this book all the time. Not all the time, but like mentioning it in different groups and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Number 3. All right, so we're going to talk a little news, but we have West Coast Avengers number 45, just a regular cover. I mean, if you can find a newsstand, great, good for you. But this is your first appearance, first cover, and partial origin of the White Vision. Of course, if you don't know, Vision's actual first appearance is in Avengers 57. I don't think he makes a cameo in 56. I think that's I think I'm thinking of somebody else, but yeah, 57 is an iconic book. It's a holy grail. That book's actually down too. But the reason why I brought this up is not only because it's down, some news just came out about a week and a half ago. We're going to talk about it. Paul Bettany confirms Marvel return. So this is February 3rd, 2024. So about 2 weeks ago, Paul Bettany has confirmed. This is from Daniel RPK and the Direct. Paul Bettany, that plays Vision, announces he's returning to the MCU. He confirms that while the Direct, the website, was attending Paul Bettany's MegaCon 2024 panel on February 3rd. The actor confirmed that he's set to return to the MCU. The announcement came in response to a fan asking if there was a possibility of Vision returning to the Avengers or MCU franchise in any way, shape, or form, in which Paul Bettany responded, quote, "Yes, 100%," end quote. The fan said, "In any way, shape, or form will Vision return, or are you going to return to the MCU?" And then Bettany, it was about a long pause, almost 10 to 15 seconds. He says, "Well, yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I? Yes, 100%. So my guess is, you know how like they sign those NDAs and they're supposed to be tight-lipped. He's probably thinking, oh man, am I going to get in trouble here?" Bettany discussed his MCU character. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, in any shape or form or whatever, that basically could just mean also like he could just show up in a what if episode as well.
You mean like voicing?
Yeah, because they got a lot of the actors to start to do voicing for different the characters they portray in the movies.
Right, right. Because the fan did ask in any shape or form.
Yeah.
So, but and remember, Vision Quest was the series that was confirmed before the writer strike, but now like everything else is in limbo. But let me continue, and then we'll move on. Paul Bettany discussed his MCU character further during the panel on MegaCon 2024, answering a fan about how he went about portraying Vision's humanity by explaining that he starts as sort of an omnipotent ingenue. I never heard of that word. Who becomes more human as he learns more and more. The fan asked, "What was it like to play a robot or android with a type of soul? How did you capture his humanity, Mr. Bettany?" Bettany answered, "No idea. Well, I do have one idea. My plan was that he's sort of an omnipotent ingenue when he's born. And then as he gets more and more sophisticated with the amount of data that he's receiving, he becomes more human." He then shared, um, some more stuff about kind of like the MCU origin and the backstory of how he plays it, so on and so forth. And then it goes on and says, when could Vision return to the MCU? With Bettany announces he will be 100% return to the MCU, fans may wonder when to expect to see Paul Bettany's Vision on screen again. The first temptation is to consider the whereabouts of White Vision and what might come of his story post WandaVision. However, there is almost nothing to speculate on, as essentially nothing is known about where he was going and what he has been up to. A possible project for White Vision to make his return and could be the once confirmed, now heavily rumored Vision Quest series that is supposedly in the works. However, the series has yet to be formally announced by Marvel Studios since the writer's strike. Beyond the online listings and cancellation rumors have already started spreading. Another possibility could be Armor Wars, as Vision was created based on the Jarvis technology from the Iron Man armor. It seems that Iron Man technology, or at least Iron Man inspired technology, will serve as the basis of Armor Wars. Additionally, Agatha Darkhold Diaries will act as a continuation of several storylines introduced in WandaVision in the MCU continuity, and we'll see the returns of many characters from the show. Perhaps Vision, White Vision, or some flashback or creation of one of his other forms could be one of those WandaVision returners. Until more information is announced, though, fans can stream WandaVision in its entirety. So that was the article. That's very encouraging. Let's get on to this book. We have West Coast Avengers number 45, the first appearance and cover White Vision. This is a CGC 98, 2022. So summer of 2022 all the way through around last month of 2023. So about a year ago, we're looking at about an average of about $350 with a high of $449.99. This is at the end and after the pandemic. Now, this is what we're looking at here. We have a recent sale here just the other day before Valentine's Day, of $224.99. That's down pretty significantly. I would say probably close to like 35 to 40%. There's also other sales. There's actually a low sale here of $199.99 on the day after my birthday, January 21st of 2024. And then there's also a sale right before Christmas for $114 for a CGC 98. That's crazy. That's crazy. What do you think there?
225, that's still too high.
You think so? You think so? I love this book. I love this book. I love the character too.
I thought this book wasn't rare at all, right?
Like, no, but I mean, it's tough in 9A. There can't be that many 9As on the census.
I guess I could look it up real quick. Give me a second.
I mean, this West Coast Avengers was actually a really good series to read. It ties into a lot of the source material for like WandaVision and a lot of stuff that that was supposed to come out, like Wonder Man and stuff like that. But there's not really a lot of key. I mean, there's key issues in there, but nobody cares. I mean, they're just like, you know what I mean? I think this is definitely the book in that series. And if you can find it in 9A, especially for $100 to $200, I think it's worth it. Yeah, but you don't think it's worth it. Like I said, we don't always agree.
Yeah. I mean, I personally wouldn't put my money into it, but like I could see why people would put money into this. I'll say that at the very least. And then this is issue 45, right?
Yes, sir. I
All
would suggest
right.
finding a newsstand for this book if you could. Um, I think this was right after Canadian price variants were done, maybe like a year or two. But there is more jewelers of this book, just to let you know. So,
All right.
Righteous Flipper says just a matter of time before Nelson, BWS, Wrightson, Zek, Beatty, Byrne, and many others are discovered as the artists to buy. He continues says, "Oh look, that Byrne cover and interior artwork." Go ahead, Aaron.
So there's 2,333 total graded in a blue label.
9.8.
And then in a 9.8, there's only
Okay.
283.
Okay, that's not a lot at all, and that doesn't really surprise me much.
And then there's a giant jump up to a 9.6 where there's 586. So I feel like there's a lot of people that hit that 9.6 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, just couldn't get quite to that 9.8 mark. But yeah.
You got to hit up Reddit Comic, all you 9.6 people.
Yeah.
He's the master presser.
He
King of the
probably
Golden
has
State.
notes on,
What would you say?
he probably has notes on how to press this book too.
Oh yeah. He's the man. King of the Golden State says I got 2 near mint copies off of Meth Head for $2 each. Dude was obviously getting evicted. Righteous Flipper says the stuff is still in the dollar bins. Ridiculous to pay a high price for a comic. Let's see here. Lord of the Brooklyn says boo, King of the Golden State. And let's see. Yeah, okay. So Aaron doesn't like this book. He thinks that 224 plus there's also a low sale 114.90. He thinks
What, like if it was like at the 150 mark,
you would do it for 150, Aaron?
I would consider it at the 150.
Okay. Well, for $200, I'm buying this book all day because I think this it's a cool cover and there's only 200 something on graded in 9.8. And I think this character is going to give this a bump in live action, or in animation if it goes into what if. But I could be completely wrong. I like this one. But
I think I've been hanging out with Carter too much now.
Mercenant?
Yeah, well, Mercenant. El Cheapo, right?
yeah, for sure. All right, let's get into number 2. We got 2 more books, guys. This is Aaron's pick. This is Department of Truth, issue number 1. This is the secret variant, first printing of Lee Harvey Oswald on the cover instead of John F. Kennedy. There's also a 5th print with Lee Harvey Oswald on the front that has red in it. Department of Truth number 1, secret variant, first printing, Oswald cover, encouraging adaptation news, which we're going to talk about in a second. The numbers here, we're looking at a 9.0 to 9.8 near mint raw. So the reason why I had to go into cover price into the 9.8, there just wasn't a lot of sales for 9.0 and 9.4. There was just not that many. But I found 3 listings raw on cover price, and then I confirmed them on I only confirmed 1. I can only find 1 on eBay. But we're looking at $45. $40 and $100 high sale in March of 2 years ago. Here we go. Aaron, what is the news on this book?
Yeah, so this article came from Forbes. So as part of the effort, UTA, which represents James Tynion IV in lyrical media, will now represent Tiny Onion in media rights, where it will be help production company grow in producing profile across film and television. One of Tynion's projects, the Department of Truth, is currently under development at the entertainment group Sister, with Tinian attached as the executive producer. So, I think this news kind of flew under the radar because, like, how many people do you know like use Forbes to like formulate comic book spec? Like, the only person I could think of off the top of my head, like just shot in the dark, would probably be Lucas, like chilling greens and cornbread. I think he would be like one of the people that would probably piece things together like that, or use that as a tool to piece together, like, what he's predicting in market trends and all that. But I find like I find that Forbes will be a more reliable source than like anything else we would read.
Oh yeah,
To
it's considered what do they call that, a trade, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit, it's a well-respected business magazine, right?
Right. It's a legit.
Yeah, so I mean, they've been around forever,
Well, if you want it, like I said, if you bought it, let's see here, let's go back here. If you bought it before, you were paying between $40 and $100. That's in 2022, but now you're paying 15 to 20 bucks. Well, that $15 sales in 2022. There just wasn't a lot of sales. But last month it sold for 20 bucks. I think that's a great buy. I'm buying this all day.
And then
Are you
what were
buying
you
this,
saying?
Aaron? 20 bucks?
Yeah, easily. Like, yeah, Sister News is old. JT4 announced the Tiny Onion production company today in his new. Okay, I haven't read his newsletter in a while. I'm a bad Tiny.
That Forbes article was just a couple days ago.
Yeah, this is February 16th.
So he said that the news is old, but it's a new article.
I mean, there's a full article on there. This is only a small expert.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, I kind of skimmed through it, like, I mean, it's just kind of like, it's what Forbes does, where they just kind of like go through like highlights of this person's business, like that would not be familiar with James Tinian the Fourth, like, some guy that's on Wall Street, like, who gives a shit about like some comic, right?
Right.
But then at the same time, it is smart too if they're investing into like different entertainment properties into their stock portfolio or whatever.
Right. No, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's strong.
Yeah.
All right. Time for the number one book, Buy the Dip. Here we go. Number one. Couldn't believe the numbers, but this is Tomb of Dracula number 10, and this is specifically a CGC 9.6. I went over every grade, raw and graded, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing with this book. I mean, I believe it because everything's down, but I couldn't believe how high this was selling in a 9.6. So, I mean, pandemic price, we're looking at $12K. End of the pandemic, we're looking at $15K, $13K. That was when all the Blade stuff news was coming out. Okay, it starts descending in January of last year, 9,300, and it just rapidly descends. 89.22 May of last year, July of last year, 8,900. I'm sorry. I take that back. Yeah. I'm right. Okay. And then it has a sharp incline around Veterans Day of 2023 of 10K. Okay. Now check out this price. 2 sold this month. One on the 11th and one the day before Valentine's Day in a CGC 9.6. Both sold for $6,600. That's down between $4,000 to $6,000.
But does it really surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me it's down, but I didn't realize how much this book was how high it was selling for. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Well,
I mean,
this was like but this was like one of those keys where if you look at the time period before pandemic, it was like one of those last keys that like really took that jump to a 5-figure mark.
Right.
Like even in like around this grade or even in 9.8, right? Like it was always a solid 4-figure book, and then leading up to pandemic, it was approaching that 5-figure mark.
Well, $6,600 is. I think that's a good buy, and I think it's going to rebound.
Even with the news of the of like of Blade taking place in like New Orleans during a period piece.
Absolutely, because the I mean, not only we're fiending to just see live action new Blade, but Ali, the actor, he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. And then also you have Elsa Bloodstone, that's probably likely coming back. That whole monster genre when they did the what was that, black and white, and then they did color Werewolf by Night. I mean, that is tied into this book. I think that honestly,
the whole like Monster Mash stuff is gonna like come like just build up more, right?
I don't own, yeah, exactly. I don't own this book. I've always wanted to own this book, but in my opinion, with everything that's going on with the MCU right now, with the creative teams and how they've been just failing, I'm fiending for something new outside of just your basic superheroes, and I want to see the monster side.
Oh, like the more supernatural stuff.
And
like,
yes, exactly. And the supernatural stuff. And I think that's going to actually probably, if it's done right, that could actually wake up the community and also buyers and investors.
Well, it's kind of like the like with the Werewolf by Night, that was kind of like the splash in the pond, right?
Right.
Like that was your first hit, and then like we're gonna start seeing the ripple effects now. Like the next ripple effect was the cut. Like, hey, let's see how people's reaction is of this in color. Like, you know, to me, like originally, like yeah, CGC 94 facsimile, but but anyways, I'm just sure. I don't even know if he was talking about this book specifically. But anyways, I don't even know where I was going with this rant.
It's all good. I'm tired too.
But yeah.
All right, that's the end of By the Dip. We're gonna do a little bit of pickups. I'll go ahead and go first, and then because Aaron's got some good ones. I just have a few. One, I think this is a 1 in 20. It could be a 1 in 25. Pick this up. This was $3 at my comic shop, graded in an 8.5, very fine plus. Got this about a month ago.
Oh man, you gotta love the grading numbers that my comic shop gives you, and Midtown sometimes.
Oh, my comic shop undergrades back issues, in my opinion. They're pretty good.
Oh yeah, where it's like anything that says like very fine or whatever, you can expect that it's at least a 9.2.
Exactly, 100%.
It's just, yeah.
Bought this one last week for $2.50. It was on my want list. I got the notification, and when I went in to check it, because I'm always looking for this book, it was $2.50 for a VF 80. My comic shop bought it right away. $2.50.
Nice.
That's a silk manga variant. This is issue number 7. Tough book.
Yeah.
Pick this up. This was a half price sale over at the comic book shop on my house. This is a 1 in 25 for Amazing Spider-Man 19. I just liked the cover. I thought it was different. It's cool. It's got the vulture on there. Black suit Spider-Man. Shout out to Big Clutch. Thank you, Sean Kirkham. He hooked us up on the channel. Did you get one of these too, the Transformers?
Yeah, the spot foil.
Yeah, he didn't ask for it.
Yeah,
didn't ask for it or anything like that, because I don't ever want to ask my friends or acquaintances or whatever for anything besides friendship and loyalty. But he just hit me up and he said, "Hey, you like Transformers?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" And he's like, "Okay, what's your address?" And I don't think he said like Transformers. He said, "What's your address?" We're talking about MegaCon exclusives. He was on his way to MegaCon. I got it the next day, and boom.
Yeah,
this is
because I got it when MegaCon was starting.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Big Clutch. I've only had like 3 or 4 AOKs in my life. This is, I think, the 4th one, and Bryan hooks me up with stuff, and he's just a phenomenal friend and community member. But this also really touched me. Really touched my heart. Thank you, Big Clutch. I really appreciate it. I love this book too. It's got a beautiful cover. It's 5th print, right? 5th print?
3rd print.
3rd print?
Yeah, I want to say it's 3rd print.
It's
what's the last number on the barcode? On the back.
There's no barcode.
Oh, there's no barcode.
That's what I was asking. Yeah.
I think it's considered a 3rd print.
When I looked on eBay, it said 5th print everywhere, but
is it 5th print?
If it's 5th, it's 5th. It's just convention exclusive, and little thing. So very excited.
We'll
It's
just go
very
with
nice
convention.
condition.
We'll just go with convention exclusive then.
Okay, there we go. My dad, if you guys watch me on Tales of the Flip Side, I used to explain during our roundtables. My dad, he goes to secondhand stores all the time, and he gives me books, not for me, but to sell on eBay into the eBay store, and then we split the money. And he found some cool stuff, but nothing big. But this is a Silver Age Josie number 30, 12-cent book. Found this for $2 at the Big To Do, or $3 at the Big To Do. Shout out to the Big To Do Comics, Tunes, and Toys. Shout out to Lords of Longbox. Great people over there. TiVo, he's been a friend of mine for a while. I like that guy. He goes to the same LCS as me. Mike Big To Do owns it, but I found this over there for $3, $3 or $3.50. I don't know. Spawn 76. I really like this cover. I think it's a Capullo McFarlane cover. Capullo, and there's a second signature. Doesn't look like McFarlane. I don't know. It's Capullo. Shout out to Average Joe's Baseball Card Shop. They just moved to a new facility down in Buena Park, and it's huge. It's about 65 to 70% size of a Best Buy, and they have all cards. They have toys in the middle, and now they have comics. Found this for $1. I didn't own this. If Manny's in the chat, he knows exactly about this book. This is a Star Wars 34. I forgot the first appearance in here, but
yeah, I was gonna say there's a first appearance in that. I think I went big on the second prints.
The same guy gave me that. Speaking of second prints, I asked him how much this is, and he said, "Oh, you can have it." And said,
"Oh, nice."
Thanos Rising #1. This is a second print, blue border. Love it.
So that all that really means was he was too lazy to look it up, or like he's had it in the store forever.
He was actually doing a CGC submission, and I'm not trying to rip or anything, but like he was packing. He just got done with the sub, and he had. I go, "Are you checking prices?" He goes, "No, I'm subbing to CGC," and he was about to pack the books, and he had them all stacked like this instead of facing each other, and I was like, I go, just a little tip, and then I explained that how the spine is heavier than the edges, and when you stack it like that, you will get a spine dent, especially if it's stacked for a while. And he goes, spine dent. I go, yeah, you might think it looks like to you like a spine roll, but it's actually called a stacking dent, and that needs to be pressed out. And he's like, looked at me like I was crazy, but Scotty Young, and then. Shout out to Aaron Yee. I always wanted this book, but I never really was looking for it. But he put me on this book because he got a CGC 9.2. And then I just was a fiend for about a month, 2 months. And I finally found a great copy for really cheap.
Nice.
$100. And
hell yeah.
I posted on my IG. This is first appearance of Shang-Chi and Fu Manchu, his mom, a few others.
I'm looking for more jewelers now.
And then that'd be awesome. And then also,
there's ones that exist out there. So
you guys, yeah. I heard about that. I would definitely look at that. Everybody's crazy about Top Series 1 right now. Really, one of in my opinion, probably the nicest top set I've ever seen. This design is kicking every single top set's ass. So all these guys, Aaron and Ben and Bryan, they're getting all the stuff, and I don't have any Top Series 1. So I was fiending. I went to Target, and I was going to buy some blasters, and there was 5 or 6 hangers. I think 6 hangers left, and I grabbed them. And the first one I opened, I got a Home Field Advantage, Randy Rosarino.
Nice.
This is a case hit, super short print. These Home Field Advantages, rookie or veteran, are the most underrated modern card right now that, in my opinion, these things raw are going for next to nothing, like $30 for something like this.
With an asterisk though, like right now, since Series 1 just dropped, like do not pay the $120 for Ellie De La Cruz Home Field Advantage card. Like I feel like that will drop in price eventually, like as more come out.
Yeah, because the Rodriguez was like 60, but then it got up to like 125. But the Corbin Carroll one was like around 40. It got up to 60. Now it's around $50. So that's a great point.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I think those are cards that you can kind of wait out a little bit to buy on a dip. Not on the hype. Like it's on the hype right now. If you pull it, awesome. I'm not saying sell it right away, but I mean they're consistently selling for $120.
I want to show you this real quick. If you guys didn't check the video, I uploaded a video today, a 2023 Prism football retail battle, retail box versus 3 blaster boxes. It's a really good video. I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. But the retail box has the super short print, very rare black and white checker prisms, and there's supposed to be 3 in there. I actually got 5 in there. And I couldn't believe it. This guy, I love this guy's future outlook. I couldn't believe it. Jaden Reed. I think my camera's mirrored. Let me unmirror my camera. There we go. All right. And there we go. There we go. There we go.
Okay, yeah.
So this was about $100 to $125. Now it's selling for about $75. Really nice for Prism, for brand new Prism. I mean, the Prism's only been out a couple months. I mean, that's actually really good because Prism usually takes a while for it to do something. And then this guy was, what was that?
I was just saying someone's name in the chat.
Oh, for sure. And then got this last week on Valentine's Day out of a 2021 Topps Chrome MPB Walgreens mystery pack. This is Yamamoto from the Dodgers. This is Japanese card. I looked it up on eBay and people were saying this is rookie card. Can't find anything before this. So, but it doesn't have the rookie emblem. Yet there are rookies in here. You see the rookie emblem right there?
Could it be like, could it be the situation where it's his first card or whatever, and then he hadn't played enough Japanese baseball games to get a rookie stamp?
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know what the rules are for NPB, but I know MLB has like, for pitchers they have to pitch at least 50 innings.
All
right, I'll start with the bad, and then I'll get to the good. So I did pre-order for the John Tyler Christopher Darth Maul variant and ended up with these ugly Asajj Ventress covers. So I have no idea what I'm going to do with these.
I knew you loved them. I knew you loved them. I actually don't think they're horrible, but those are dope.
Yeah,
those are dope.
I bought it for the Darth Maul, obviously, and then the
Ventress are pretty bad.
the Asajj Ventress was like the surprise variant or whatever, and I was like not surprised and kind of disappointed, and was like screaming like, "Did I order those? Did I order those?" And I was like, kind of like, "Crap, I did." But then the only time the time when you order like a good looking cover and then you don't order the secret cover, that's when you hate yourself, right? Because then something ends up being like badass. Anyways, I bought the
1 in 25.
The Ultimate Spider-Man number 1 in 25.
How much you get it for? $20?
Like $20, like less than ratio.
I think that book is undervalued in my opinion. I like that book.
There's a lot out there because a lot of stores did do variants for it, and then so they did get all the ratios. There's not a lot of A covers and B covers out there.
Nice.
I bought this cover. This is Cobra Commander number 1. I really like this. Like,
ooh, nice. That's beautiful.
So shout out to Bird City. I bought it from their Whatnot sale. All
Bird
right.
City.
I'm gonna have to get my cheat sheet out for this one because I don't remember all these titles, because that's the problem with buying Virgin covers, right? So I am part of the Tiny Onion Club. So I did end up with, this is the Universal Monsters number 1 Dracula gold foil. They had accidentally printed this in silver and sent them out to all the Tiny Onion Club members. And so they were going to make it up by sending the gold one and then letting you keep the silver one. So I have a silver one floating around somewhere, and I have the gold one now.
What's the title?
Universal Monsters number 1 Dracula.
Who writes it? Is it Tinian?
It's a Tinian written story.
Nice. The Boom Studios too?
It's Is Universal? I think Universal Monsters is. I want to say that's Image.
Okay.
Or no, it might. No, it is Boom. It is Boom.
Okay.
Okay. This is Deviant number 1. I'm pretty sure this is the Image title. This is the silver foil. Ed Hutley cover, right?
Nice. Love him.
And then this is the gold foil variant. And I also have World Tree number 6 gold variant in Hutley.
Wow, I love that series, man. I've only read issue 1, but great series.
Yeah, I've read up to issue
Cool covers.
4 or something like that. 3 or 4, I think is where I'm at. Let's see. And then in the news of sports cards, I did open a jumbo box, which you can catch on my YouTube, but I'll show the hits since I'm sitting right here. I pulled a Christian Encarnacion Strand rainbow foil rookie. This was such a tease, like seeing the reds and the rookie symbol, and then I was like, yeah. But I mean, like, you know,
that's a nice constellation, though, right?
Yeah. So, on the 89 throwback, I hit a Junior Caminero, where it does have the rookie card stamp on there.
Nice.
He's not on the base checklist, so I thought it was kind of cool that he was on the throwback. I just enjoyed pulling this card. This is all tops team Julio Rodriguez insert.
Nice.
It looked really cool. One rookie card I did not know that was in there was Henry Davis.
Yeah.
That's
Jab's guy.
Yeah. So I have a bunch of his like first, and I have a couple of his autos and stuff like that. Evan Carter.
He's a beast.
That's so out of one jumbo box, I was really happy to pull the rookies that you wanted to, at the very least, the base, all the base ones. Jason Dominguez.
And
then I pulled this Ellie De La Cruz. This one looks really centered compared to the other one I pulled on. So I'm considering to grade it.
Okay.
Here's my auto. I pulled a Gavin Williams auto.
Yeah, he's money.
Yeah.
Nice.
So out of the silver packs, here are a couple of the hits. Ronald Acuna Jr. So I love the mojo pattern. Then you have Heston Kershaw.
Oh yeah, he's money.
Yeah, so this rookie. And then a Sadani Raffaello. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I probably butchered that to hell.
That looks like a variation. It looks like a variation with that up close picture, like that with his hat off.
It says T89C20. So I mean, I'll have to look into it a little bit more, but it's just like the
nice.
So I'll check it out. I did pull a Mike Trout. You know me and Trout. Like I could not like open a box and not pull a Trout.
Do you have his rookie card?
I don't have his rookie card.
You said that card's numbered, correct?
Yeah, this card is numbered. It's out of 150. Yeah, honestly, I don't really care about Trout, in my opinion. Like, I mean, I'm an Astros fan, so like same division. Like, I'm not gonna care for Trout.
Yeah,
like for the longest time, I didn't care about Ohtani either. So, it's not a personal thing.
It's not like you have to worry about the Angels; they suck. So,
yeah.
But I love the Angels. Don't get me wrong.
What I thought was really interesting out of this jumbo box was that you also, like, not only do you get one autograph and 2 relics, one of the relic cards is actually supposed to be like one of the manufactured ones. Well, I ended up with 2 game used materials cards. So I have a Christian Moriel. So second year.
Nice.
Yeah, so a game used jersey. And then let's see. What's up?
Little Spidey.
And then I pulled a Bryce Harper game used material card. So a nice little napkin in there.
Have you found or seen any of those Kevin Hart cards? You know what he's
I
talking about?
haven't. I know what he's talking about. I know it's okay. I couldn't remember what it was short printed to. If it was to what number. That's kind of funny. That's to 51. I forgot
Why is
what
it
the reason was.
51?
It was for. There was a reason. There was a specific reason.
Is he 51 years old?
Is that it? I can't remember if it was that.
Is he 5'1"? Is he 5'1"?
Well,
Is his
no,
height 5'1"?
I thought he was taller than that.
Okay.
But anyways, there was a specific reason. But anyways, this is not important, I guess.
It's because
he is 5.
Okay.
Oh, he is 5'1". Okay.
I just guessed.
That's kind of funny.
Wow.
I didn't think he was that short, but okay. I guess he is.
Hey, we're gonna
and then the last hit. So my first one to pull, a home field advantage, Bobby Witt Jr. So I was super stoked to pull that on camera. I did get it on camera on Instagram. I'll have to make a clip and put it as a short on here.
Dude, were you like, what?
Well, I had it back because the card came backwards. And I was like, cool, yeah. Bobby. I was like, oh, awesome, Bobby Witt Jr. And I didn't really read the card number. So, yeah.
All right, we're going to end the show with some CGC news, guys.
Oh, my bad.
Oops. Is it gone?
Yeah, here, let me share it.
Yeah, we're going to end some CGC news that Aaron notified me and wants to talk about. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, so I thought it was super interesting. I was at work and I was just kind of reading my personal email, and that's where I get CGC stuff. And this is a letter from Stephen R. Eckenbaum, who is the CEO of of NGC, PMG, CGC, and ASG, like all the different companies for that CGC is under. So I thought it was like super interesting that like that they're already addressing like the fraudulent activities that were going on with CGC. But what kind of like even struck, like what I noticed in this was that like that they're planning to release like releasing new high security holograms and adding variable QR codes with more to come. Like, so, they're obviously, I mean, we already know that like Matt Nelson, and I would assume like other people within his company, like listen to some of our different podcasts to like hear our opinions of about what's happening in the community or whatever. But I mean, I kind of remember joking around with that, like, yeah, like just put a QR code on the bag or whatever, or what the comic's sealed in.
So is this article basically saying like what they're doing, like taking legal action, and how they're going to also change the product going forward to prevent?
Yeah, so that's what they were. This is like kind of like, hey, we are aware of these situations. Like here are some other situations that you may not be familiar with. It's just so it's more of like a reassurance thing, right?
Right.
Yeah. But here's the crazy part, like, so they talk about their NGC company in this, which I didn't really hear about this. So in Europe, an individually falsely claimed that he did not receive a return submission of banknotes and tried to recover more than 100,000 euros from us. Our team conducted an intensive investigations and determined that not only did he receive the package, but had also distributed many of the banknotes. After tracing these notes back to him, we notified the law enforcement in Germany, where we have an office in Munich, in Austria, where the banknotes were delivered, and Turkey, where the individual lives. Austrian authorities look up the case, and 2 weeks ago, the individual was convicted of fraud and sentenced to 10 months in prison.
Whoa, that has to be unprecedented, right?
Right. So I mean, like, I mean, I don't know if it's a first, but anytime when you're dealing with like money and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
especially the grading of money, I feel like
Right.
that's it adds. It's just you keep on adding
Yeah.
premiums to it,
Yeah, I
right?
guess you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
And then it even mentions the the incidents of the CGC of what happened like right after that. So like I could foresee like a big like because those individuals are already in court and they're gonna take them to the full extent of the law. Um, so it's not going to be a good outcome for those two individuals that were pulling a scam, right? So they're basically like my big take from this letter was that like whether the crime is small or big, if you're committing like fraudulent activities around our collectibles, we're gonna pursue we're gonna prosecute you to the full extent of the law, basically.
Yeah, that's the thing is that when we're all this CGC, book, what is it? What would you call that? Book swapping, right? Those are done. There's no oversight. There's no oversight for our stuff, the stuff that we are supposedly guaranteed because it's certified, graded, so on and so forth. So the only way you can go after them right now, as of right now, is civilly, in civil court. But we live in the U.S. I mean, if the guy unloaded all the books and depending on where he put his money or whatever, and this guy sues him, all he has to do is file bankruptcy. I mean, it's just a slap on the wrist.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you're a CGC, if you have a CGC account, you probably got this email.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so I would
I
highly
didn't
suggest.
look, so I don't know.
Yeah, so I would highly suggest like reading it like more in depth. And then like it goes on to say like I didn't know that they had this, but if you suspect fraud, you can please report it immediately to report fraud at collectiblesgroup.com. Swaggle House, he also went like in the in-depth video like earlier today as well. I started watching it. I haven't watched it all the way through yet, not gonna lie.
We're gonna put the link. I'll put the link right after this, right after the live stream. I'll put the link for
In
the
the description.
article in the description, so you guys can read it in case you didn't get it if you don't have a CGC account. But anything else in this article, Aaron? It's got
But
your attention.
no, yeah, I mean, it was just interesting to hear from us. I guess a CGC CEO that I had never heard of before. And then
I always
like
thought it was Matt Nelson, but then that's CGC. This is CCG,
this,
right?
well, this is it's the entire like company
Yeah.
that like where it's NGC,
Right.
CGC, like it's
Got it.
whoever's in. It's like the bigger top of the pyramid of the sister companies, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or I guess in the
Well,
collectibles group, right? Collectibles group.
say I'm trying to think of an example. So I'm trying to think of an example of a CEO that I don't know. It usually goes by the LLC. This is probably the LLC, CCG, and then that's
Like
basically, and
like
then everything. It's
whoever's in
like
charge of the board of PepsiCo, because then
gotcha.
because then they would be
Frito
like
Lay and
like Taco
right
Bell and
subsidiaries.
like
Yeah,
all those like sister companies, right? So like they
gotcha.
would be. I mean, like even though they don't run the day-to-day operations of those individual companies, they're
Mm-hmm.
still like they still write the check, right?
Gotcha.
Kind of situation, I guess, or they still make the shots. They're still the shot callers.
Shot. I'm just kidding. Anything else, Aaron? You got besides the channel here? You got anything going on besides Hot 10 and Beyond Wednesdays? Shit, you're on like 50.
Long story short, on Thursdays.
What time does Long Story Short?
What time does it start? That starts at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific. I think I got that right.
Is that, would you guys consider that a spec show, or is that just like a comic book collection?
We just generally talk about comic collecting. I mean, I know a lot of us on that show came from the
spec world,
from the modern playbook like spec team and stuff like that. But you know, it's just for the fun of collecting. Like, I mean, it's hard to like not talk about some of those things because like rarity does play a factor into the price of a book.
absolutely.
And so like yeah, so I mean those do correlate together, but like we're not trying to tell you trends of what to speculate on. It's just like kind of rare cool books that you can still find in back issues or dollar bins that people will tend to overlook or underappreciate, right?
Where can you find the show? If any new watchers, listeners are interested.
Over at Nearing Nirvana. So if you're
That's
not subbed up,
nearing, second word, Nerdvana.
yeah. So if you're not subscribed to that already, you probably should be.
Sure. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I'm not sure I'm going to be on Wednesday. I'm 50-50 right now. I've been doing some stuff with my licenses, but Friday I will definitely be there, Hot 10, and then I'm going to be on Saturday. I'm definitely going to be on the show for MCM. I'm going to make my return. I haven't been on the MCM Modern Comic Mayhem for a hot minute. It's been almost like 4 months, so I'm really excited. Tiger Fett says Bob Iger is the CEO of Disney. That used to be Michael Eisner, because his son Andrews Eisner was on my hockey team. He was the goalie, and we used to go to his house in Beverly Hills, or Bel Air, I should say. And he has a driving range in his backyard, and he has a freaking basketball court and a roller hockey rink. It's amazing. But anyway, that's another story. Bob Iger is the CEO of Disney. Under him is Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilms, Kevin Feige, Marvel, so on and so forth. Thank you, Tiger Fett. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Rich Taylor. This is Aaron Yeezy Yee. We love y'all. Stay tuned. Make sure the notifications on. And if you want to read more about the CGC, what we're just talking about, the CGC stuff, we'll put the link in the description right after this stream. Without further ado, toodaloo.